what all people in the political spectrum should do to have more women involved in politics is to create the conditions for them to be able to do that. For instance, we need better places where we can leave our kids to have time to get involved in the civic life. We need partners to educate our partners to understand that it's okay for a woman to be involved in that. And also, we need a society to understand that women have an important role in representation of the whole society.
So in Naša Stranka we are experimenting both with quotas as a temporary solution and investing in our women, giving them tools to get them elected as the long-term solution. So we don't need the quotas in the long run. And that's some ideal society that I dream of, where you don't need the quotas for women to be represented when it comes just naturally and they are empowered enough to fight for themselves. I think the biggest responsibility definitely in the Bosnian society, since we have a 40% representation of women guaranteed by the electoral law on the lists, that means that we actually need for the parties to take responsibility for getting women elected. So basically, in my perfect world, every party should recognize the importance of female representation in politics and invest in their female candidates, because currently they don't do that enough. All the male candidates have stronger campaigns, they don't invest in their female candidates, it rarely happens, and that's why all the other parties have a very low representation of women. And Naša Stranka does the opposite, so it's not just the quotas, it's how much we invest in our female candidates. They are always having good campaigns, they are always having good representation, and they are always running up on the lists, being forerunners in their fights, and they are very well known. So we get them elected by giving them tools, and then they get themselves elected basically.
Well, I think apart from seeing candidates and alumni becoming actual politicians in the public sphere, is that we see parties put a lot more focus on female empowerment and a lot more focus on how to foster more women in all areas of politics in their countries. And so what we see also is that established parties in Western Europe, but also newer parties, newer liberal parties for example, in Eastern Europe, have that on their agenda from the beginning on. So it's not something that is nice to have. It's a crucial point in winning votes for every party now.
I think it is important to have people to look up to, role models. That's why I think also EWA is very good. That we see older colleagues, we hear their stories, we hear what's been difficult, what has helped. But the most important is still, from my perspective, the general feeling of how the roles are divided at home. Is the man still expected to earn more? Is the woman expected to take care of the children when they are ill, for example? Or are these questions that every family decides for themselves? And also, of course, if society takes women seriously, and I think in Estonia it does, people do vote for women if they are candidates, I think then it will be more balanced.